watch this. Not only should you be faithful in life, but there are also some facts about life. Watch this, watch this. The text says he rent his mantle, his garments, his clothes. And then the text says, being young, he shaved, Jesus, his head. No. It wasn't customary. Because first of all, you got to get mantle before you get shaved. Can I talk to you up in here? Mantle suggests something. This particular milah garment was often worn under the ephod. It was a particular garment, and it was a particular color. It represented at least one of three things. Can I preach up in this house? Four things. First of all, it meant that number one, either you were a priest or you were a king or you were a prophet or you were rich. Are y'all with me still? Now, Job does not lay claim to being a prophet. Job does not lay claim to being rich. Job does not lay claim to being a king. But if you read chapter 1 like I read chapter 1, Job does lay claim to being rich. Are y'all with me up in here? And certain things rich folk just don't do. They do not go public and embarrass themselves in such a way. What Job was saying was, even though I got bad news, even though everything is happening to me, he says, first of all, I'm going to do is I'm going to face society. And I'm going to let society know that it does not matter what level you place me at. All that matters to me is that I'm going to stay in the right relationship with God. I know you don't see it, but look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, does not matter where man placed me. But what does matter is where the Lord places me. Job says, I'm going to tear off my garments. I'm going to tear off my mantle. I'm going to tear off my connection to society. Because this thing is not about society. And you need to understand this little financial thing we're going through. It's not about society. It's about how honest, how pure you're going to be with the Lord. And until you get to a point where you want to uncover what society has put on you. Oh, y'all gonna get this in a minute. Until you get to a point where you're saying, I don't care about status quo. Until you get to a point where you're saying, I don't care about the Mercedes. I don't care about the Lexus. I don't care about the Escalades. I don't care about the 350,000 house as long as I got Jesus. He says, I'm going to take off my mantle. Boy, I feel like shouting already. That bothered me because when I looked up the word mantle, Sister Jackson, it took me all the way back over to those thieves on the cross who had took off the clothes of Jesus. And they were casting lots at the bottom of the cross. Are y'all hear me? It was the same mantle that Jesus had on. That suggests that it was something that Mary made and put on her boy when he became a spiritual man. It was the same garment that when he would expose himself to folk, they would see the blue and the purple turnip, and they would know something about the boy. The clothes represent that he came from royalty. The clothes represent he belonged to somebody else. The clothes represent he was special. So they took off his clothes and cast lots for him. What they were doing, watch this, I'm almost through, I promise you. What they were doing was they were telling society that we've embarrassed him now. We've broke him now. He would never be the same any longer. But Jesus never said a mumbling word. He stood out there on Calvary. He didn't care about the clothes because the makeup was not on the outside, but the makeup was on the inside. So can I talk to somebody in here? If you're losing your car, don't worry about it. If you're going to lose your house, don't worry about it. Who you are is not predicated on what you have from the outside in, but it's predicated on who you are from the inside. So he rented his clothes. The text says he then shaved his hair. And you got to understand that shaving your hair was shameful. But he says, I don't care about being publicly embarrassed. He says, I know something that the rest of you may not know. And that is, I'm going to stay in right relationship with the Lord. How do you handle bad news? How do you handle a bad day? Number one, you shave or rip off your clothes so that society will not see that they had a chance to break it. You give it up with a smile. You tell society, well, thank you. The Lord blessed me with it for a season. But I'm not going to let it control my praise. Somebody here gonna get that. You cannot praise God like you used to praise God because something happened in your life. And now when you come to church, everybody is watching. But can I tell you, it's time for you to arise. It's time for you to get up. It's time for you to rip off your shirt. Don't do it physically, but do it spiritually. Take some stuff off and say, devil, society recognize me because of what I'm wearing, or because of what I'm driving, or because where I'm living. But I'm not worried no longer about society, because soon and very soon they're going to have their house back, because I got a mansion in the sky. They're going to have their suits back, because I got a robe in by glory. Is there anybody praying with me? High five your neighbor and say, neighbor, they can have these old clothes, have this old house, have this old car. I got something better. Is there anybody here waiting on better? Come on and help me here. Rip their clothes, shave their hair, and then the text suggests he fell to the ground. That's a good place to end right there. Grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, it's time to fall down and worship God. That's how you're going to make it through your bad day. You got to fall down and worship God. Is there anybody here know he's worthy? Is there anybody here know he deserved it? Is there anybody here can sing the song like I used to sing? I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. Is there anybody here know God is just testing you? He's just testing you to see why you're gonna stand. Job says, I'm gonna fall to the ground because in my falling down, I'm gonna humble myself. Here it is. I'm gonna humble myself before the sovereignty hand of God. I'm gonna humble myself and worship him who blessed me in the beginning. I'm gonna humble myself and bless God because Job said the God gave and God has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Grab your more partner by the hand and say, partner, blessed be the name of the Lord. Job fell down and worshiped him. He blessed the name of the Lord. Is there anybody here want to bless his name? Is there anybody here want to praise his name? Is there anybody here want to tell the Lord, thank you. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my wealth. Thank you for everything. Is there anybody here know God has been good to you? Grab somebody else by the hand and say, neighbor, God has been good. Don't fool the children. Has he been good? Has he done stuff for you? Don't worry about where you are. Just stay focused. Keep praising him. Keep worshiping him. Keep shabbating him. Keep rocking him. Keep speaking well of him. Because God is up to something. God is up to something. God is up to something. He's about to make the devil of a lie. He's about to make you praise God instead of curse God. He's about to make you tell the truth. Is there anybody here know the truth? Well, here's my version of the truth. Can't nobody do me like the Lord. Can't nobody rock me like the Lord. Can't nobody hold me like the Lord. Can't nobody rock me in the midnight hour. Ain't he all right? What's your version of the truth? What is it? What is it? What is it? Don't let the bad news keep you burdened down. Don't let your bad news keep you from praising his name. Don't let the bad news put a muzzle over your praise. If he's been good once, he'll be good again. If he blessed you yesterday, he'll bless you again. If he brought you out yesterday, he'll bring you out again. Say yeah. Say yeah. Say yeah. Maybe you've had some bad news and you hadn't been able to get back to the high praise because of your bad news. But Job says one of the ways I can handle it, number one, I don't care about what society has placed on me. I'm going to rip that stuff off me. They can have it. Number two, he says, I'm going to shame myself. I don't mind being publicly embarrassed in my praise. Come on, stand up, stand up. He said, because you didn't see, for all of us who are bald-headed, you didn't see bald-headed men back in the day praising God unless they were Nazarites. And because they were the Nazarite means that they had a prophetic ministry on their life. They were called to do that. That wasn't the norm. Number two, he says, thirdly, I'm going to fall down and worship him. And if you're losing anything, maybe God has called you or he's calling you to be a worshiper. Now let me clear this, then we're moving. In this context, worshiper means in this text that I'm going to publicly bow down before God. Job says, I'm not going to let what the devil meant for bad in my life keep me from praising a good God. He says, I'm going to stay worshiping God. And if you can stay true to your praise, if you can stay true to your worship, can I tell you, you will end up with double for your trouble. The reason why Job got double is because God knew he could trust him with a praise. Is there anybody here God can trust you with a praise? Come on, come on, come on. I know what the doctor said, but God is trying to see if he can trust you with a praise. I know what the bank says. I know they say they're coming to get it in the morning. But can he trust you today with a praise? I know what the doctor said. I know what the doctor says. He sees that spot. But can God trust you today with a praise? Can I tell you, praise and worship will get God's attention quick. And it might just change his mind on your behalf. Is there anybody here? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.